My heart is not yearning for this child, she had said, but these words were from the early days. Then, gradually, despite the silent pain, extreme anxiety, and uncontrolled blood pressure, she must have started loving the child blooming in her body. She might have hoped that even after this child was born, all her troubles would be over. She must have been gnawing at the thought of not having to be away from her 8-year-old daughter for at least 2-3 months due to childbirth. But the inevitable disaster happened. She was delivered before the day was over. The child was lifeless, swollen head, twisted limbs, incompletely developed fetus. The chapter that had been carefully kept in the womb for 7 months was over. I have also become very bold recently, sister. The other day, my mother in law used to say to Abhilasha, "Look, does your mother eat corn kernels? Come and find out." I was also so hungry that when Abhilasha came and asked, I said, "Yes, I do." She went and said, "Okay, then go and get them," she said. I was still sleeping inside. I could clearly hear my grandmother and granddaughter talking outside. I told Abhilasha, who came back in. "My waist hurts so much I can't even get up," I said. My mother in law had said, "If I can't bring them, how can I eat them?" She had said Abhilasha was the only one who kept acting as a messenger between me and my mother in law. Then, for some reason, some corn kernels came. I shamelessly ate them. Did you ever think I could be so shameless, sister? For about a week, her painful life flashed before her eyes. Whenever she spoke on the phone, she would vent the silent pain buried in her mind. She did not even like to talk about some things face to face. Also, she must have been shy because she was younger to me. But when I spoke on the phone, she spoke without hesitation. Sunaina was Leena's own sister, and Leena was my favorite childhood friend. Even though Sunaina was the youngest of all the sisters, even though a son was born after her, Sunaina was raised with great love as the last daughter. If we compare the 6 qualities of a girl like Rupeshu Lakshmi, Kshamaya Dharitri, etc., Sunaina can be called the best of them. Let alone comparing qualities in boys like this. If we did, Veerbhadra would be the least. A beautiful for a young woman, problems arise when a very ordinary man becomes her partner. Perhaps no one took this seriously. Therefore, it would be wrong to talk about a man's restraint on his career, ambition, character, culture, education, etc. Sometimes the fierce passion of a male lion is directed at his parents, other times at his older siblings, brothers, or sometimes at his workmates or neighbors. After Sunaina got married, all the passion seemed to have broken out on her. Did Sunaina's family find something in Veerabhadra and marry him off? The question haunts me to this day. The only son of a full house, a car, a bungalow, and a business is the future secure. But a young woman like Sunaina lacked none of these. Did his parents, who were fed up with Veerbhadra's nature, think that it would be okay if he got married? But they could not have imagined that the situation would reach this level after marriage. Sunaina, a girl from another family, fell victim to Veerabhadra's neglect and oppression. Even after so many years of marriage, no one had accepted her. All she gained in these 8-9 years of married life was high blood pressure at such a young age and an 8-year-old daughter, Abhilasha. Sunaina was shocked to be pregnant again after so many years. However, she somehow managed to cope. She had spent those 7 months in great pain. Finally, fate had decided. What if? She had gone to her hometown in Bengaluru to give birth. When Sunaina was taken to the hospital for delivery, the doctor who examined her finally told her parents, "This time the girl has survived. If she wants to be healthy from now on, please solve her problems and make her feel comfortable. Otherwise, it will be difficult for her to survive. With such high blood pressure, she could die at any moment," she warned. Her parents were trembling with fear. Sunaina looked very much like a snail when she came to Bengaluru from her husband's house. Her eyes were dull, her body had sunken, her personality had lost all charm, and she would tremble every time she got a phone call from Veerabhadra. What a sinner! The doctor said that she should rest for at least 6 months. That means she would not get any rest even at her husband's house. She would have to stay at home. But should not Veerabhadra leave? He was already irritable. He also lost his mental stability. He is a depressive patient. 6 months of rest is like being away from Veerabhadra. If you stay at home for such a long time, you may have to listen to the gossip of society. The thought that Abhilasha and Sunaina may be alone forever started to put Sunaina's father under more pressure than ever. Sunaina's parents were very upset seeing her difficulties. They started thinking that they were responsible for all her hardships. But suddenly they could not take any decision. Sunaina and I used to argue about this issue repeatedly. Her father had made a great name for himself in his family and business. Now he could bring Sunaina without any treatment and keep her in his house for as long as he wanted. But there was a worry that the society would label her as having left her husband. Sunaina lived with the curiosity of wondering whether a girl from such a cultured traditional family could leave her husband. Initially, Sunaina had tried to bring Veerbhadra to the path of justice but failed. She had thought that at least having another child would be enough. That too was a lie. He had not had the slightest feeling for the child. When I had been to Bengaluru many times in the past, I had gone to Leena's house several times to meet her. Whenever I went, I would talk formally with auntie and uncle and spend more time with Leena. When I went there recently, Sunaina's father called me and asked to talk to me. Having watched Sunaina's life very closely, I felt a sense of regret that her parents had sacrificed Sunaina's life in water to save their own status. After receiving his call, I reached his house thinking that I would see Leena. Soumya, you are close to Sunaina. She is very close to you. Why is this Veerbhadra acting like this? Why is there no harmony between Veerbhadra and Sunaina? What do you think? I asked. Uncle, it is a little difficult to answer this question because Veerbhadra himself may not know why he is acting like this. Even his parents cannot know. There are some psychological reasons for this in the relationship between Sunaina and Veerbhadra. I feel embarrassed to tell all that, I said. Okay, tell me something. Uncle, it is no wonder that Sunaina, who has just married and settled in Mysore for the first time, is shocked to see the difference in personalities between her and Veerbhadra. It is like giving a ruby to a monkey like that. Noticing this, the neighbors may have made fun of Veerbhadra or spoken badly to him. To escape from this, he has started oppressing Sunaina. When this continues like this, Sunaina starts shaking at his every outburst. He has forgotten the relationship between husband and wife to satisfy his ego. Just talking to him for 2 minutes is enough to show that he is mentally ill. I don't understand that. You are with such a person. I am sorry. I should not have spoken like this, I said. No, what you said is right. At that time, we too were very worried about his nature and personality. Would he get along with Sunaina? But we did not know that he would behave like this. No, uncle, you can tell what kind of person they are just by looking at their faces. Veerbhadra is one of them. How did you not know that? But he is definitely a mental patient. He really needs psychological treatment. If at least he gets better from this, it will be good. Yes, before that, neither Veerbhadra nor his parents should know the root of the problem that is destroying the peace of their family. We have always taught Sunaina to live in peace and tolerance, but not to protest. I think that is what went wrong, said the father. Uncle, this is the mistake that is happening now. Our elders forcefully teach only peace and tolerance to their daughters, and thus the innocent are trapped in the pit of sin and suffer till the end. As a result of this, while Veerbhadra is now laughing and laughing, Sunaina is suffering. Please forgive me if I sounded too preachy, uncle. Sunaina is like a sister to me, so I felt a little affectionate towards her, and that's all I said. No, Soumya, don't think like that. I came to ask you for advice. What can be done to solve this problem? Tell me everything you think about it. I am eager to correct this mistake that we have made as soon as possible, said Uncle. Uncle, Sunaina's problem is very sensitive. There could be several reasons for this. I know of two solutions. One, Veerbhadra should be treated. This has already been done. Second, a bold decision should be taken for Sunaina's future, she said. Only Veerbhadra and his parents can do the first thing. The second is in your hands. If they wanted their son and daughter in law to have a good life, Sunaina's mother in law would have done this by now. Indirectly, instead of solving this problem, they are making it even more complicated. The second thing is that you need to have a lot of determination and courage to take up the matter. I said, Soumya, you are also our daughter. That's why I brought this matter up with you. Please don't think otherwise. Yes, your friend Leena is coming from Mumbai tomorrow. Then definitely come home and go. He said, Okay, uncle, call me as soon as she arrives. I will come immediately, I said, and left from there. Leena had rushed to see me as soon as she arrived in Bengaluru. She had completed her fashion design course in Mumbai. She had started her own boutique here, and it was successful, which was reflected in her eyes. Hi Soumya, how are you? It was good that I found you in Bengaluru. Otherwise, I would have had to come to Mysore to see you, said Leena. Oh, I'm sorry. Why did you come to Mysore just to see me and get tired? Tell me the truth. Have you come even once? No, I was going to come to Mysore this time as soon as I came from Mumbai. Let's go this time. Next time I will definitely come. What else? How is Sunaina? Has Veerbhadra Sahib softened after all this? Leena, one should be optimistic, it is true. But expecting some magic to happen is foolishness. I told you the last time I came. There is no change, no sign of change. Are you still in that delusional world? So harshly. Leena was shocked and despaired. Sunaina had given birth to a stillborn child just 3 months ago. Leena, I spoke to Sunaina just 2 days ago. I had not told her that I was coming to Bengaluru. If I had, she would probably have said something. How could she let her thoughts get this far? What did she talk to you about? Leena asked curiously. Sister, is not spending your whole life with someone who doesn't love you enough a punishment? She said. I asked her the same thing. Has the death of the child affected Veerbhadra's mind in any way? When I asked, I don't know. Only his nature and behavior are the same as usual, she said. If he sets foot in the house, my arms and legs will fall off. My breathing is irregular. I am trembling and anything I hold in my hand falls. What can I do, sister? All women wait until evening to see when their husbands will return home. But I have to wait until the sun comes up and my husband leaves the home. I will be anxious as long as he is at home, she said. Hearing all this, Leena's tears started flowing. How is Abhilasha? What is her situation now? Leena asked urgently. As Sunaina herself said, Abhilasha is now starting to understand everything. She starts shaking whenever she sees her father. She has been becoming very introverted lately. Just the other day, when Veerbhadra laid hands on Sunaina for some reason, Abhilasha protested. Also, she asked, Mom, are all husbands like this? It's a shame that at such a young age, look at what a painful thought that child has come to. Soumya, many years ago, our father had shown all of our horoscopes to the Pandits and inquired. According to Sunaina's horoscope, the Pandits had said that she would become the queen of some house. Later, when they compared it with Veerbhadra's horoscope, they said that such a wonderful opportunity rarely comes along. That's why even though father didn't like Veerbhadra at all, he gave Sunaina to him and married her. I am also unknown. How did this relationship develop until now? It was a puzzle. But Veerbhadra has kept her as his queen. He does not let her speak with all her heart and love. Moreover, even if she wants to speak, she has to take his permission. That scholar could not even read palm lines. He did not know how to read palms, let alone how to read the planetary movements of horoscopes. But that man was good at reading faces. Seeing Sunaina's beauty and Appaji's wealth, he made a fool of himself and said that she would become a queen and a queen, and he took a good dakshina, said Leena. If I had known about Veerbhadra's appearance, qualities, nature, and affairs earlier, this problem would not have arisen today. But that scholar hid all his flaws by matching his horoscope and hid them for his own benefit. They both lamented. It had been almost a year since I met Leena in Bengaluru. I had not been able to meet her again because when I returned to Mysore that day, Vignesh's company had arranged to send me to London. So we left for London urgently. Before leaving, I had spoken to Sunaina once on the phone and told her the matter, but she was very disappointed. I was the only person she knew in this town. She often used to share her thoughts with me and lighten her mind, but now she was feeling very lonely. We had come to Bangalore directly from London. I immediately called Leena. Then I came to know that both Leena and Sunaina were in Bengaluru. Sunaina had come for her brother's wedding. That is, her younger brother Chandru has grown up. His marriage is also going on. I was very surprised. By afternoon, both Leena and Sunaina had come to take me. Then I was stunned to see Sunaina. She had changed a lot. The confidence in her voice seemed to double her natural beauty. However, I recognized the emptiness in her eyes. Apart from that, her personality had completely changed. While I was looking at her intently, unable to say anything, she came forward and held my hand. Sister, are you surprised to see this new look of Sunaina? I was just crying in front of you, telling you my troubles. But will you ask me what happened next? She said. Oh, I will definitely listen, but there is only one truth. I am surprised to see you like this. The happiness I feel seeing you happy cannot be felt by anyone else in this world. I am so happy, I said. It's true, sister, I understand. You gave me so much mental strength during those difficult days. I will never forget your cooperation, said Sunaina. Meanwhile, Leena intervened and said, Come on, Soumya, let's sit down and talk a lot today. If the wedding first starts from tomorrow, everyone will come. Then we will not get any time, she said happily. Sunaina started saying, Sister, one day Chandru came to Mysore on some work of his. Since he had lost his phone, there was no sign of his coming. He came home by accident. The door of the house was also open. As soon as he stepped inside, Abhilasha's frock fell on his face. Along with that, he heard Veerbhadra's distorted shout. You brought such a sleeveless frock. Do you have any sense? It has no sleeves, no measurements, and the back is open. What was the need for this? What do you think of yourself? Yes, she has a pile of clothes at home. Do you want to bring something like this again? Veerbhadra kept shouting over and over. While Veerbhadra was shouting in a frenzy, his mother-in-law and father-in-law were sitting on the raft in their room, watching Kurukshetra without seeing like Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. This daily chaos had become a habit for him. Then Chandru, who came forward, asked, What happened, brother? And with no more anger, shouted even louder, Go and ask your stupid sister. What did Veerbhadra have to say? He kept saying the same thing over and over again, making me angry. I can't even bear to buy a frock for my daughter. What else can I say to such a person? No, what is so rude about dressing an 8-year-old daughter in sleeveless clothes? How could that cruel man understand all this? Chandru came just as Abhilasha was snatching the frock from her hand and throwing it towards the door, and it fell on his face as if welcoming him rudely. The hot-blooded young man Chandru must have been all burned up. It was natural for him to feel disgusted and angry at the way his sister was being treated so badly. But at that time he did not say much. He calmly went downstairs and called his father. Father, I am bringing Sunaina with me. What's wrong? Is Sunaina okay? Let's talk about all this only after we get there. Hey, what happened, Chandru? What did you say anyway? Don't tell me about anything. Chandru, you stay there. I will leave right now. Until then, don't tell anyone about this. Let's talk after we reach there. When I came to him, Veerbhadra had already gone outside. Meanwhile, his father-in-law came out of the room and sat with Chandru and tried to calm the situation. It was a great shame that his son's appearance was exposed in front of the elders. Despite all this, Sunaina cooked and served a meal that her brother liked. Chandru started thinking, is this her sister? Is this the one who used to explode even if someone spoke a little too loudly? Father came in the evening and stayed at some hotel and called Chandru to call him. Chandru, who met his father, told him everything in detail. Father, if this is a very common thing to see, then seeing brother-in-law's behavior at that time, how did your sister tolerate such a man for so many years? I was afraid, said Chandru. Hearing all this calmly, his father gritted his teeth and endured it but became very serious. The very next day, Chandru brought his sister Sunaina to his father on the pretext of taking her for a walk outside. Sunaina was surprised to see her father. She felt sad seeing his withered face. Oh, if only the door had been closed that day, all this would not have happened, and no one would have known, she thought. At Chandru's insistence, they went to meet his son-in-law to talk. Seeing that both father and son had come straight to their office without any notice, Veerbhadra and his father were shocked. Father, who started talking to them, said in a serious and firm voice, let's get Sunaina some job here. Otherwise, I will take her with me to Bengaluru and give her the responsibility of some office there. She should not fall under the pressures that she already has here and suffer more illnesses, he said. He did not accuse either Veerbhadra or his parents. The words he spoke were so precise. Thus, both father and son had no choice but to choose one path. Then the Montessori training course that Sunaina did after her degree came in handy. Since both father and Chandru were traveling to buy land, they systematically completed the registration processes, completed the furniture work and all the other small tasks and prepared a small school for Sunaina. Maybe they decided not to return to Bengaluru without completing all these tasks. Sister, another thing is that my uncle took care of all the expenses of building the school. Now there are 150 children in my school. I am at the school from 10 am to 2 pm. Along with all the responsibilities of the house, I am easily running the school. I am happy teaching with the cute children at school and enjoying their stuttering. Veerbhadra also doesn't shout like before. He doesn't poke his nose in any of my work. It's like an unwritten agreement between us. Overall, I have found a home, she said. Although they had not yet developed a deep love for each other, Sunaina was very happy that she and Veerbhadra were busy with their respective work. If they had rushed into divorce proceedings earlier, it could have had a much worse effect. Overall, everything that happened was for the best. No one's family is without regrets. There was all this, but it is important to handle it wisely. Repeatedly digging into the wounds in the mind only makes the pain permanent and impossible to heal. Therefore, instead of dwelling on the bitter events of the past, Sunaina realized that it was better to think about the future and move forward and put both her hands around her life, which was like a blown lamp to ensure that the lamp did not go out. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel.